everybody. We are outside today. This is actually on my front porch. It's raining, but the temperature is just beautiful. As you guys know, today is the first day of fall here in the US, and it's pretty exciting. I know personally I am so super stoked about it finally being cooler, finally being able to sit on the front porch with my hot tea. Fall is beautiful on so many levels, and it's very exciting. There are a couple reasons we're outside today. The first, as I mentioned, it's beautiful. The second, I've been trapped inside of a school building for the last month and haven't been able to be outside nearly as much as I love to, and my room is kind of a mess, so I'm finding a new place to film. But you guys, today I just wanted to talk a little bit about, it's a new school year, obviously. I assume perks of filming outside. I assume almost everybody has started school yet. If you haven't, I don't know where you live because it's middle of September, and if you haven't started school yet, that's a little strange. But it's a new school year, and there are tons and tons of new things starting and happening, and I think, personally for me, one of the best times to start a new schedule, a new routine, a new whatever, is with the start of school. This week is homecoming week for us as well, but all of that being said, I want to touch base with you guys a little bit about how I do my personal devotion time. I know everybody has their own schedule for what works for them, their own note-taking that works for them. Pretty much everything is very personalized, but it's never a bad idea to think about where to start. And in case you needed ideas on how to get your Bible study time off to a great start or whatever, I hope this video really helps you, and I hope you're encouraged, and I hope you guys let me know what you're reading. I am in the middle of I am just starting Psalms now. I just finished 2 Peter, and I kind of jump around quite a bit. It depends on, I'll read a good chunk of the New Testament, and then I'll jump into the Old Testament. And right now, Psalms, it's a really great way for my heart to not be super overwhelmed, but still tugged at while I am reading. And I don't know, it's just kind of where I felt called to read next. So I'm in the second psalm now, and second chapter, and so far I'm really enjoying it. Before we dive into all of that, my tea is a chai tea mix with orange zest in it. I love it. I don't do the coffee thing, but I do the tea thing. There's a hummer. You guys can't see the hummingbird feeder, obviously, but there's a hummer just sitting here watching me. It's so cute. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, guys, I rarely bring my phone with me or have it next to me while I am doing my devotions, simply because the screen lights up with a Snapchat or a text or a Facebook, Twitter, whatever. It is extremely distracting. My first thing is to keep your phone on the other side of the room, but you guys, one of my biggest issues personally is focusing and being able to sit down with my Bible and with my notebooks and just talk to God for half an hour because of our phones. And, it goes off and we get distracted, then we're all busy about this, doing, whatever, checking that notification, and we forget where we were at, and it just kind of ruins our conversation with God. It's kind of like if you're sitting there with a friend and your phone goes off and you just start texting someone else while you're still trying to have this conversation with that friend, it's rude. They don't like it. It's really not a good thing for your relationship. And, you know, whoever the other person is, it can probably wait. So just kind of a little disclaimer. Today I have my phone with me just kind of as a timer. Hey guys, I'm back. Ignore the little glitchy thing. So, where were we? Bible studies, distractions. There are lots of them. Leaving it at that. Okay, so, I have my Bible that I got the Christmas after I was baptized. My dad baptized me at camp when I was 10 or 11, I think. And if you want to know more about baptism or anything like that, just, guys, don't if you want to know anything more about baptism or anything like that, guys, don't hesitate to message me or leave me a comment, and I'll try to get back with you as soon as I possibly can. Because if you're interested, that's something I would be totally into talking about with you or making a video about it. So just let me know. I'm all ears. And if I don't know an answer to a question, I'll figure it out and let you know. So I have my NIV Bible. It's a New International Version. And it's a lot easier to understand word for word than King James, which is kind of the traditional Bible translation. But I have my NIV Bible, and I love it. And guys, I write in the margins a lot, and I don't know if that's something that you do. I also don't know if you can see this, but it's like highlighted and written all over, and I write in my margins a lot. It helps me to stay with it. It helps me to focus on what I'm thinking about. There is like a bad side to writing in your Bible that I see. Sometimes it's like, oh, well, I want to make a new note on this verse because now it says something different to me, but you've already written on it. But I think a lot of it is, that's why I like to have my pad and pen or a notebook. It depends on if I'm reading like a gospel, a notebook page and a half is fine. If I'm reading an Old Testament book, I need a lot more because there's just, to me, it feels like there's a lot more to get out of the Old Testament that I haven't personally delved into yet. So it's a lot of work. I use pens because I love pens and have a slight pen addiction. That sounds weird. But you guys could use a pencil, a pen, crayon. I've taken notes in colored pencil before for my Bible study. Totally up to you. Once again, the phone is mildly distracting. Guys, seriously, refer to step 1. Leave it across the room. I promise it will help. It helps me, and I have mild ADHD or something. I have focusing issues. This might look like a hymnal, but it is not. If you know what a hymnal is, give me a thumbs up. Please. I need to know there are people like me in this world. This is a concordance. And a concordance is a book full of words and references. It's kind of like an index, like in the back of a textbook, but it's for your Bible. Some Bibles have them in the back of the Bible. Mine does not. So, you basically, with your concordance, you look up a word. Once again, I don't know if you can see this or not, but you look up a word, and it will tell you each time in each book from Psalms and Proverbs, and then through Old Testament into the New Testament, every single time verse by verse, that word is mentioned. And then I like to go through and count them all and write off to the side of that word how many times it is. Like, for instance, grace is in the NIV Bible 138 times. And in different ways, it tells us about how God has given us grace, how we are to give. I don't know if you guys can see this, but there are hummers, like, attacking each other right over here. Good grief, the wildlife today, people. Anyways, a concordance is a really great way to see how often words are in the Bible. It's also a really great way if you're, like, writing a devotional or a lesson for Sunday school, or preachers use them a lot. You know, if you're writing about a certain topic, to be able to look up that word and be like, oh, here are the 138 verses that have to do with grace. Now, which ones of them apply to my sermon? And it's just kind of a really cool tool to have. And I definitely suggest that if your Bible does not have a concordance, you look into purchasing a separate concordance. I mean, my concordance is bigger than my Bible because it's hardback and my Bible is not. But like I said, some Bibles have a concordance in them, just in the back of it. So it's a really cool tool to have. And guys, some of my last advice about Bible studies is just, you have to make time to do it. For me, it works best in the evenings a lot. But now my schedule is getting busier with play practices, and my dance team practices are going to start next week, and this week is homecoming and work, and it's just a lot, and it's all about making time. If that means you have to physically write into your planner, like, time with God, or you have to set a reminder on your phone to go off with an alarm, make time for God, like, now. And the hardest part is, like, holding yourself accountable to it. So if you have a best friend or a sibling that can hold you accountable to reading, and you can come together and be like, hey, what did you read this week? You know, here's what I read and what it said to me. And making time to have that conversation over a cup of tea or a cup of coffee, it definitely helps keep you more accountable for it. And it makes it a lot more fun. You can see how the Spirit of God works through everyone's life, not just yours. And you can share those aha moments that you've had in your Bible study. And it's a really neat way to see the hand of God working in everyone else's lives. Okay, you guys, I'm going to get started on my Bible study now. I only have about an hour before I have to leave for practice. And you guys, I just hope that you have the most wonderful time with God. Let me know if He says something awesome to you. Let me know what you guys are reading. Let me know if you guys want to know anything about my study, anything like that. Just let me know. So you guys, I end this by saying God bless and stay beautiful.